Hello everyone, hello. This year is dedicated to Ili Nishmas Rachalei Bas Reb Chaim Tzvi. Today, Be'ez Hashem will be discussing in Yanim of Shalom Bayis, important topics. We're in the very crucial topic of Shalom Bayis, peace and harmony in the home. And I'll try to develop, Be'ez Hashem, some ideas that I've seen in the different Sfarim and I've heard from my Rebbeim. I would just like to recommend there are two very, very good books out there about some of the beginning of married life. One is by Rabbi Dr. Abraham Twersky. He has a book called The First Year of Marriage. Excellent, excellent book. Be'ez Hashem will be quoting from it today. Also, there's a wonderful book called In the Beginning by Mrs. Einhorn and Mrs. Zimmerman. And it's a wonderful book about marriage and how men and women operate differently and communication, things like that. And Be'ez Hashem will be quoting from that book as well. I want to start with two ideas mentioned by Chaim Shmulevitz Zatzal in the Sefer Sichos Musar. Powerful ideas from the Avos and the Imahos. When Yosef is born, the Torah describes why Rachel called Yosef Yosef. So one reason is that when the Torah describes what Rachel said, Vatomer Asaf Elokim Escher Pasi, Hashem has brought in my disgrace. It's a hard phrase to explain. The Mefarshim give different pshatim. So one pshat Rashi gives is as follows: Medrash Agada calls man shein liisha bein, when a woman has no son, ein la b'mi litro sirchona, she has no one upon whom to blame for her mistakes. Mishayesh la bein, once she has a son, tola bo, oh yeah, it's his fault. For example, Mishi bar kliza, who broke this cup? Bincha, oh, your son broke it. Miachal tenim, who ate the figs, or maybe nowadays the cookies? Bina bincha, your son ate it. So that's what Osav Hashem Escher Pasi means, that now that I have a son, so I have someone to blame. Very striking medrash. This is what Rachel's thinking about when she finally has a son after so many years. Very hard to understand. What exactly is and the Mefarshim, many Mefarshim have approaches to this medrash. It's a very striking medrash. Rav Shmulevitz explains the following idea. He interprets this to be referring to Shalom Bayis, that something breaks in the house. So if there's a child around, so the husband might assume, oh, probably that my son did it, not my wife. And therefore he'll be less likely to be at all upset with his wife. And Rav Shmulevitz writes and says, we're talking about Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu loved Rachel tremendously, 14 years, and he worked. And the Shalom Bayis was wonderful. And Yaakov Avinu would get upset if something was broken in the house? No. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the Hebrew language is something very dark. Very, very, very subtle. There might be, like a 0.001 level of, we wouldn't even use the word upset, hakpada, something like a tiny thing that and Rav Shmulevitz writes that an outside observer wouldn't have even noticed. But Rachel felt Shalom Bayis is so important, and to have harmony in the home is so important. I'm happy now that this adds even that 0.001%, and it becomes a tremendous lesson for us. Despite the fact that without having Yosef, the chance of anything happening was tiny, less than tiny, zero. No one would have noticed. But the little teeny tiny addition to Shalom Bayis was what gave the simcha to Rachel, and that was part of the naming of Yosef. Tremendous, a powerful vort from Rav Shmulevitz teaching us on the importance of Shalom Bayis. Even something that wouldn't have even noticed. Well, that's one idea Rav Shmulevitz mentions there in the Sichos Musar. Another idea from Rav Shmulevitz in Sichos Musar, when the Malachim come to tell Avram Avinu he's going to have a son, and they're talking with him. So the Torah describes at the beginning of Parshas Vayera, Where's Sarah? They asked where Sarah is. And Avram said she's in the tent, Hinei ba'ohel. So Rashi quotes from the Gemara that they knew where Sarah was. They knew where Sarah was. But they wanted Avram to say she's in the Ohel. That's where she was supposed to be. She's Sanua. That's what they wanted Avram to say it. Why? Chazal say, Kitei lechabeva al bayla. In order to endear her to her husband, to make her more beloved to her husband. That's what Chazal say. Rav Shmulevitz points out this is incredible. Avram and Sarah are married for many years already. Many, many years. Wonderful home, tremendous shalom bayis. And yet, still we see that despite